Welcome to our podcast. This is our first episode. We're kind of figuring it all out, feeling our way along. But today is a very special day, Invasion Day. Do you want to tell us about Invasion Day?
No, not really. Well, it's Australia Day. It's Australia Day. But you know what?
The day the English came and gave smallpox to the Indigenous people.
Yeah, that's if you're looking at it in the really negative way. I like to think of it as just a day when hopefully we can all just come together and celebrate the beautiful place that we live.
That's what Scott Morrison said.
Yeah. Well, that's what I classify as Australia Day. And I know that that may not be, that's not what the Indigenous people feel. But
I think a lot of people in Australia, even me as a bit of a boring conservative Australian, are coming around to feeling we should change the date because it really is a bit insulting to think that there's this culture that's been there for 40,000, 60,000 years, and then there's a bunch of colonists coming, and then that becomes the day that we celebrate as a nation. And really, we're going to have to make the Indigenous respect for the country and the land so much more a part of Australia.
I agree. No, I agree. So I agree that I think there should be an Australia Day, but yes, if it's this date is a problem, then I agree with changing the actual date.
But we have a worldwide audience, and so we're not going to talk about Australia Day, but it is, believe it or not, there's an ocean out there, and
I've been for a swim.
It's a gorgeous day on Australia Day, and it's a gorgeous country, and you should come and visit Australia if you haven't been here, and if you're not living here, you probably should be, really, because it's just a fantastic place to live and be, isn't it?
I agree.
Wonderful place. We have everything. We have Woolworths, shopping centres. We have malls.
We are very lucky. We are very blessed.
We have deserts. We have 42 beaches in this city. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Anyway, today we're going to talk about checking in, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to make that part of the podcast. We're going to have our guests come and check in, and we're going to check in with each other. We're going to check in with our guests, and you're going to tell us a whole lot more about checking in. And well, I'm going to read a little bit from Imagine too, as part of it. But I think maybe I'll throw over to my brilliant and wonderful co-host, Suzanne, to tell us a bit more detail about checking in.
Why, thank you, Richard. We didn't actually introduce ourselves, did we?
No, terrible.
I love checking in because it's more than just a, hi, how are you? Oh, good, thanks. You know, it's important to have those in your life, you know, to walk past someone and just give them a smile, say hi. But there's times when I just think that in life, in our daily routine, there's certain people that we are so blessed to be able to check in with. And it takes one person trusting the other that they're going to actually listen to them. And it takes giving them that space to speak and be all right with what they're saying. It's not about, I was saying to Richard, it's not about fixing how the person has checked in. You know, if I'm saying I'm having a really bad day, it's not because I want the other person to necessarily fix it for me. It's just to be there to listen and to understand that that's how you're feeling, you know. And I think checking in really helps us to get to the crux of our feelings, and maybe then to explore why we're responding the way we're responding on a certain day. So that's what the basis of checking in is. And I mean, some check-ins can go for an hour, but we're going to be specializing in like just a short 2-3 minute check-in to just see, you know, we want to make sure as well, I think, as a guest, we want to make sure that the guest is at ease or, you know, feels like they're in a trusted, safe space with us as well.
When I was a young doctor,
young doctor.
Well,
that was
I'm still a young doctor, still very young. But I used to always think, well, the doctor was kind of the head of the team, and we knew what was right. But then you went into a situation like an intensive care unit as a young doctor, and you suddenly came across things called protocols, where there's these prescribed steps and I thought, oh, I don't like that. Well, I'm the doctor. I think we should just do things like this or whatever. But actually, as I've gone through life and through medicine, those sort of protocols have become very normal and very important. And it's like a pilot of an airplane, that you've got to do all these check rights before you go in. So I'm just wondering, tell me a bit more about the check-in, because is it taking away from the spontaneity of just a normal interaction, or is it a protocol? Is it what? Tell us a bit more about it.
Well, I don't think it's a rule necessarily, but it's I guess it can be a rule as well. If you're going into surgery and and you find out, if you actually checked in with your nurses beforehand and found out that one of them has just had a screaming baby up all night, is really tense, is really, aggravated by all of these different things, that's going to give you a bit of a different perspective on how to potentially proceed with the surgery, isn't it?
Yeah. But tell me more specifically about checking in. What do you mean, as opposed to just a normal greeting or saying, how are you? Or what do you mean by checking in?
Oh, we've gone really dark. Okay.
I think it's trying to focus on the ocean.
We're back. There's no rules, I guess. And again, there's no rules. I think you need to sort of explore it yourself. I'm a very open person. So my check-in is usually quite, I really do say how I'm feeling. So if you were to ask me how I was checking in today.
How are you checking in today? So that's the first step. You use those specific words.
Yeah.
Why is that different to how you're going?
Well, I guess for me, and again, everyone can say it in a different way, but for me, if you just say, how you going? I tend to just say, oh, I'm good, thanks.
Yes.
Because that's tells me that that's sort of the response that you're after.
Yeah.
But if you actually stop and say, how are you checking in today? Then for me, that's a clue that you're actually willing to listen and you're wanting to hear more. So I guess it's something that I'm suggesting, that maybe it's something that, our listeners can take up as well in their lives. Try it out.
Yeah.
So for me today, checking in, I've had a beautiful morning, and I'm checking in, feeling really blessed for where I live. The fact that I got up at 4:30 this morning to watch the sunrise, and it's just really given me a peace. I feel really peaceful today. Peaceful, blessed, lucky, and grateful. So, I mean, that's my check-in.
Pretty positive.
It is. And look, today it's positive. It's not always positive. I do have bad days, but that's as much as it is. How are you checking in today, Richard? Why don't you give it a try?
Yeah, sure. I'm in touch with my feelings. I'm not bad. I'm better than I was. So I'm going through a phase where I know the things in life that I need to do to do better. Like in terms of aerobic exercise, I need to do more of that. I've been telling myself this for like 2 years. In terms of sleep, I need to do better. I went to bed at 1 o'clock, woke up at 7, did rounds, lovely old lady that I helped this morning. Good, that's good. And then the thing that's been really super positive is coming down to the beach and looking at the shimmering ocean. It's a gorgeous day here in Australia, and the waves are glassy, and that's kind of a special thing when it's like a glass mirror sort of thing coming through. And you just get a sense of peace because you're kind of surrounded by it. So you start to forget that you want to lie down on the floor and go to sleep and have a nap on the floor of the cafe. And the coffee helps. And the ocean is so therapeutic, I think. It's just amazing. So that's kind of, I guess, if you can check into nature, that's really helpful. So yeah, I think feeling good that how the day's progressing. So Australia Day is looking like a positive day. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I'm checking.
Beautiful.
I was going to read. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Can I do that now?
you can read.
So one of the things we want to do with the podcast is plug Imagine a little bit.
But it's not.
It's a plug.
It's a plug, but it's
me. Sponsored by Imagine.
For me, I just want people to understand that for me, Imagine is about having a beautiful vision of what the world could be like if we were all more compassionate, more cooperative. And so for me, it's more, and I know it is for you as well, it's more than just about the book. It's about the book inspiring people to have conversations about some of the many, many topics within it.
So the topic today is checking in, and that's going to be part of the podcast. And also we want to use the book to stimulate some conversation with interesting people from their perspective as well. So I'm going to read a bit from the prologue of Imagine. And this is a conversation between two people in New York, quite familiar and famous characters, one of whom wrote Imagine. That's about as big a clue as I can give you.
A different Imagine.
A different Imagine, yeah. So his wife, dressed in black leather pants and a soft white cardigan with huge sunglasses, wandered over to him and hugged him from behind. Seeing, as he did, the children playing on the Alice in Wonderland statue at the edge of the park. "I'm serious, John. Think about it for a minute. Talk to me." He put the guitar down.
That's sort of like saying, check in with me. Yeah.
He put the guitar down and swung around to face her, pulling her in and giving her a passionate kiss before gesturing for her to sit down.
You do not need to passionately kiss anyone that you're checking in
with. This is not part
no.
of the protocol. Let's imagine this, shall we? A world of intelligent beings where love was the guiding principle. Let's see a world transformed in a day. He's not really checking in there. He's giving a whole vision of the entire universe. But yeah, I think that the point is that she demanded his attention. She wanted him to think and engage really, profoundly together.
But in a way,
so he did. He respected her enough to do that.
Yeah, but in a way, it's a check-in because he's obviously feeling imaginative, and he's feeling hopeful. I guess you can.
She's inspired him.
Yeah. And the nature around him has inspired that as well. He's just been playing his guitar as well. So he's feeling, I mean, he hasn't, I guess what we're trying to do is with a check-in, verbalize that a bit more.
Yeah.
So I think that there's day-to-day check-ins, which are really, really important. And I guess why I really like it as well is because then at times when you are under a bit more pressure or, in hard times, that maybe then that's giving you the vocabulary and that's giving you some of the skills to be able to handle those situations better. So,
what about people, that don't have anyone to check in with? Like, that's a pretty tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
A lot of people are kind of either too shy or they're hived off or they're depressed or things are going on where they're not able to easily check in.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I totally agree. And so I've had depression, believe it or not. And I still think, I think that once you've had it, it doesn't necessarily leave. It's just that you figure out how to handle it. And one of the things that happens when you're in that sort of state is that you actually want to, well, for me, you sort of want to pull away from everyone. You know, you're purposely pushing people away because you're going down into this dark hole. And I totally understand that there are some people that don't, you know, that feel like, this is the thing, they feel like they don't have anyone to check in with.
Yeah.
Because there's a world full of people. And I'm not saying that it's easy necessarily. You've got to be able to challenge yourself. I'm the challenge girl. And Richard hates it when I try to challenge him. But
I mean, some people need an external force for challenge, and other people like to have to deal with challenges within themselves. But I agree, sometimes it's helpful to have an external reminder that you need to get on with life and get stuck into things. But I think it can be counterproductive.
I know, but that's a different conversation. That's the challenge conversation he tries to have with me. But for example, the person that I check in with the most, well, I talk to my mom every day. But I also have a person that every week I talk to, and we actually say, how are you checking in? Those are the words we use. And she's in Edinburgh. So in a world of amazing communication, you don't have to have someone right with you. You know, there's ways of meeting people. And I think that, yes, this is part of it as well. We are people who need connection in life. And I just think that you do have to put yourself out there sometimes to try and figure out ways to meet other people, people who have the same interests as you. And just, you know, to have those conversations, because if all else fails, a counselor, a psychologist, you know, that's where I started my
to reach out.
That's it. That's where I started my journey of getting better.
So we're kind of talking checking on a kind of more global, more casual status, but that's kind of the next step, isn't it? Or if you need that extra help, you get extra help. Well, and you check in with a professional.
That's right. And I think that, but I think that whether you decide you need to, for example, speak to a professional, or whether you're just checking in with someone else, you know, a friend, it still takes bravery. You know, it takes courage to open yourself up and show your vulnerability to people.
And if you feel like just napping all the time, it's hard to actually even, you know, do much else.
Yeah.
I think that there's so much distraction though, isn't there? People are finding ways of wasting time now that maybe isn't as valuable.
Are you talking about yourself?
No, I'm talking about the universe. I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
A lot of people are scrolling on their phones. And you know, the funny thing is when you get out and about, when you go to the beach or go up into the mountains, or you have a good conversation, or you interact with your family and friends, it just makes so much of a difference to how you feel alive. And I'm afraid that all these things that are so well designed by these great big media companies are actually making us more numb. Yeah. And, so I think it is important to have people that you can reach out to and check in with, if we're going to use that term. Yeah. Do you think, is that term Scottish or is it American? Like, it sounds a bit not Australian.
Oh, well.
Is that a thing you've learned?
For me,
where did you get
I started the learning about the check-in with an American, probably it was an American thing. Right. Yeah, so that was part of my compassion course that I did. Right. That we used to have a check-in, and sometimes we would also have a check-out if you're doing something, you know.
So are we going to check out with our?
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe we will. Maybe it's a world of possibilities.
I thought we'd already thought out this
Totally haven't put
Totally.
anything out.
So yeah, where are we going to actually put this podcast? Have we thought through that?
A bit.
Okay.
YouTube.
We're going to put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Although that's not necessarily officially a podcast, is it? Because you've got the video as well.
YouTube.
So, and then I don't know, we're going to try some of the other, we'll let you know once we actually put it up.
Yeah.
That's what this is for.
We're going to have some really cool guests, aren't we?
Yes.
We've lined up
so many guests.
So many
guests.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing people. We only know amazing people, you realize. So if you are watching this, listening to this, you are amazing because we only know amazing people.
Yeah, it's a coincidence, isn't it?
I know.
It's extraordinary. How we don't know any ordinary people.
No, everyone is amazing. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. But it's good. It's good that only amazing people are watching this right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
All the other people are missing out. Is that what you're saying?
No, I never said that. I never said that.
Quite saying that, are you?
No.
You're kind of implying everybody's amazing.
Maybe I am.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe I am. Have we covered everything with our checkout?
Well,
I think so. Our check-in and our checkout. I think
checked
so.
in, checked out.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I just wanted to mention was that obviously we are not professional.
Oh, we're on Instagram. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, we are. And we are two voices. We are two.
Voices to
something. And then we dream.
Voices to dream.
Yeah.
Voices to
dream. That's our tagline in Instagram. I'm just saying who we are. We are two voices.
Tagline or name? Isn't it voices to dream?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what you call it.
You always say it's voices to, but it's voices to dream.
Yeah, voices to dream.
Voices to dream.
Yeah, but our actual logo
is
a
couple of meanings of that if you think about it. Voices to.
Yeah.
And voices to dream.
Yeah. Okay. Now you've all experienced our little argument. What I was trying to say is that everything we're saying, I mean, it's not gospel, it's just us. It's just two people talking, and it's two people, and we're going to have guests, so it'll be three people sharing their stories.
Yeah.
Sharing their stories, and through sharing our stories, I think that's how we share wisdom. So that's what I'm hoping to.
We're kind of just doing this little domino effect thing where we're a little positive thing that we can do.
Yeah.
There's the ocean. The background, now we've gone dark again.
At least you can see we're at the beach.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
How are you checking out, Richard?
Oh, I'm checking out at least as well as I checked in. At least. Probably better. I feel good about this. I think it's going to be fun, and I'm positive about it. And I'm looking forward to having some really interesting chats with other people. Not just you, but you're fascinating to talk to. But we'll get some other people involved in having a bit of a gander. What's it called when you have a chat?
Yeah.
Chat. Have a chat.
Yeah.
And see if we can pick some brains and figure out ways that we can all enjoy life a bit more and contribute positively to where we're going.
That's right. And
as a world. What
we can imagine and then make happen.
I like that word, imagine. All right. We'll call it a day.
Okay.
Lovely to talk to you.
Okay. You too. Bye, guys.
See you guys.